Okay, good morning and welcome along to the Saturday trigger point of relief session. So hopefully you've got your trusty point ready to go. We'll be going through a hamstring release today. So spending a good amount of time working through our hamstring from right down the insertion in the knee and origin right up at the, where it sort of meets glutes and all that sort of thing. So we'll be trying to release that whole line of tissue. Can be great for just your bend over flexibility, but good for your squatting if you're trying to walk up hills or doing lots of running, lower back pain, all that sort of thing. Hamstring flexibility is something that's really key, so something we can certainly spend some valuable time trying to improve. All right. We're going to start in a seated position, just sitting on the floor, and a harder floor or thin carpet's probably the best way to go. If you're sitting on a yoga mat, you probably won't get the same purchase out of the point. And then we're going to do some work sitting on, I'm just going to sit on the side of my couch, but you can use a bench top or a table or something like that, so you can get some active movement through the hamstring. Okay, so to start with, let's get our backs really flush against the couch and your bum right back against the edge. Okay, so we don't want to be out in a slouch position like that. Right, we want to be in a nice, good, strong posture. Okay, I'm going to start on my right leg, and I'm going to start quite low. So I want you to feel underneath, so you've got your knee, okay, then just come up a little bit, right, and it's more towards the inside of your leg, okay, so we're looking for his knee, I'm going underneath the knee, and I'm looking at about this sort of space, not over the outside line, more the inside line. Okay, we want to try and hit around that area. Okay, so as I said, we're sitting nice and straight and tall. And we set our point, and then we're coming down, and you're going to need to find it, and it's going to flick a little bit on and off. Okay, so you need to find where it is and then find some balance on that space. After that, hands on top of thigh, pushing down, right, and just trying to find the pressure that you need. Now moving around a little bit with your heel can also get you a bit of pressure, so I always think if you pull your toes up, it generally just pushes your heel away, and then your hamstring can relax down a little bit and you get a bit of pressure. Okay, so just every now and then just pull your toes and it just extends away a little bit to get that hamstring working. Okay, and when we find your spots, we can do certainly some up and down wiggles. Right, it doesn't need to be a lot, right, and that can be just from your toes moving, or you can try and do it with your hands. And you might find a little bit of referral pain, some shooting stuff going on with that. Okay, so for anyone who's just joining now, we're looking at hamstring, just about 5 centimetres above the back of the knee, towards the inside line of your hamstring. So closer to the middle of your body. And just wheeling a little bit through your heel, right, to help you move back and forth with that spot. Now for me, once I've got a good spot, I'm hitting a pretty nice one. I've got a little bit of work shooting around the inside of my knee. Okay, I'm just going to lift up, so lifting your knee up. And I'm going to move the point up just a couple of centimetres and come back down on top. Right, and again, remember it's going to flick around a little bit and you're going to lose your spot sometimes. Right, so you need to find your spot where you have that tension on the line. And once you've found it, there's mine. Right, then you can go to work with some pressure down. Right, making sure you move those toes and ankle to get the appropriate extension through the hamstring. So for me, this one's referring up towards my groin, going right up nice and high. Right, so I'm on a really good bit of a good line of tension for me. You can also try a bit of a quad flex, and it's just going to force your leg down into that point. Right? You flex your quad, hamstring relaxes a little bit. And you can also play around a little bit, just letting your foot roll in and out, and it might just change the angle a little bit over that hamstring muscle. And because we're down that low, it's sort of muscle turning into tendon, all that sort of thing. It's a bit of a junction going on down there. Now, hamstring is a really long muscle. We're looking at 30-40 centimetres, so it can take a fair bit of time to get a good release. And it is important that you don't just release that one spot. Oh, I'm a bit sore here, well, I'm just going to put the point where I'm sore. You know, we want to steer away from that sort of method. It's not a great way to look after your body. Making sure you're working on lines of tissue is really important. So do spend the time to release out the whole muscle. Getting some good movement through those toes, so you're getting a little bit of friction massage from the point on your hamstring there. Alright, I'm going to lift my knee, and I'm just going to move the point up again a couple of centimetres, come back down, and I'm just going to play around a little bit to find that line again. Generally it's going to be more towards the inside of your leg, but everyone's going to be a little bit different with that. Playing around with the heel, rocking forward and back. You can turn your foot in and out a little bit and see if that changes your tension spot. Just getting a slightly different angle through the muscle. Really pressing down with your hands on the thigh, and if you can, tense the quad and watch your foot come off the ground. Right, and you get a fair bit of pressure right down in that spot. Whoa, that is a lot of work. What we're trying to replicate here is an elbow from a masseur or a physio or a double thumb. Right, getting a lot of pressure into that hamstring. Just make sure you're staying up tall. I've slouched a little bit there. Keeping good posture the whole time. Flex that quad, lift the heel again. Wow. Okay, let's lift again, and just move it back a couple of centimetres again, not much. Just tracking very, very slowly up that hamstring. And if you're doing this one and you think, oh, this is not hard enough, you need to get in deeper to your hamstring, you think you want the point to be a little bit taller, go and grab a book, you know, maybe 50, 100 pages, and place it underneath the point so it just sits up a little bit higher, and that's going to give it a little bit more pressure going down. I'm doing fine without the book at the moment, but it's certainly an option to raise it up a little bit taller so you get some more pressure going on. generally more towards the inside line of your body. Lifting the heel if you can. Feel that extra pressure going down onto the point. And just rolling your foot in and out a little bit and seeing if that changes. Just the angle, can be a tiny little angle change and give you a real zing sometimes. Alright, I'm going to lift again. Move up a little bit higher again. Okay, so we've just pretty much gone through the belly there, so we started down low where it was a bit tendony, thicky, now we're muscle, now we're sort of just getting back into more of that sort of muscular, that tendon area. So you might be flicking on and off. I just did that and flick back on. So it is important to find that spot for you. Keep trying to breathe and relax through it. Rolling that foot, even sliding your foot around a little bit just to give a slightly different angle on what's going on. Oh, that's made all the difference for me. So this is now shooting a little straight down towards my knee, and I'm coming up a little bit into my hip as well. Rolling the foot, rocking through the ankle to get your leg moving forward and back, and don't forget the pressure down on your thigh. If you want super pressure, flex the quad, lift the heel. Whoa. Alright, we're going to do a lift. Let's go a tiny bit higher, so you might be able to lift your knee a bit higher, and we come back down. Spend some time to find the spot. Ooh. Now right down the outside of my leg there. I'm just going to hang out and try and relax on that spot before I start moving. There we go. Just taking your time, enjoying that pressure, that tension. So if you've been doing, a fair bit of weights, squatting, lunging, step-ups, that sort of thing, deadlifts, Roman deadlifts, you're getting a lot of hamstring work, and taking care of that hamstring, really, really key. Just glide that foot across, out and in, and see what difference that makes for the spot that you're working on. For me, it goes shoot with my bum. Alright, so bend. I want to get a little bit higher again. I'm nearly getting to the very top. And down again. Oh. This one's going straight into the back of my knee now. If you're not getting those, just move around a little bit more and find that spot for you. Oh. And start your movements once you've got a spot and you're happy with it, or unhappy with it. Oh. Turning your foot in, turning your foot out. Just change the angle of that pressure. One more spot up if you can. So you might do a lift up and just get a little bit higher. Right, and let's get a drop. Last one. Oh, that's already going. Oh. Again, you'll need to move a little bit around to find the right spot for you. This one's right in the middle of that hamstring, right at the top. You can see how high I am. I just flicked off and flick back on. Try those feet going in and out, finding which spot's more sensitive. Okay, let's take it off, take it out, have a break. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going to move to the left. We're going to go a little quicker through the left. Not because it's not important, just to make sure we get through, want to get through both releases. Just before we do that, now that we've done one side, stand up. And let's just do a bit of a slump stretch and see if you can feel more or less tension on one side. So for me, I can feel a really strong stretch on my left that I wasn't doing with my right. But when I sink down, I feel I can go a lot further on my right, which is great to get that mobility. And it's not because we've stretched, it's because we've massaged and we've done a bit of a deep tissue release. So we're going to move to my left leg now. Okay, remember we'll start just above the knee, about 5 centimeters above the knee, towards the inside of your body line. it's going to flick maybe a little bit on, flick a little bit off. Make sure you're sitting with a nice posture, so bum's back against the couch. For me, this is always a very sensitive one, the left. It's where I got the hamstring graft for my ACL reconstruction. And that tendon, whilst it does recover, it never really recovers exactly the same. So we just spent 20 minutes working through one hamstring, so you can see how long you can really spend on a muscle when you have that time to focus on it and really work to improve it. You can see where the point is. There's my knee, top of my knee, or maybe 5 to 10 centimetres above that. Flexing up my quad, bringing my heel off the ground with that extra pressure down, and I'm going to move up. Very little by little. Finding your spot. When we're doing something like a hamstring, hamstrings generally work the same on each side. It's not that one gets faded when you run or when you squat or when you lunge. We're all working the same. It's important to spend the same amount of time, at least look after both of them. You might have one that is a little bit tighter, which you might spend a little bit more time on, but you need to make sure you address both sides, because we don't want to create a really big imbalance, which can start hurting us in the gym, or can start hurting yourself a little bit when you jump or run. Getting that lift, flexing the quad. Oh. Alright, let's lift it up. Move the point up a little bit. Find your line, find your tight spot. Let's lift and raise again. So as I said, we're going to move through a little bit quicker to make sure we have time to do the other release I was talking about when we're sitting on the edge of the bench or table. That does not to say that you can't just pause and go through a little bit longer on that, the one you haven't done yet. Starting to work around sliding that foot as we get a little bit higher, so you can go down and in, not just up and down with those toes. And let's raise, move it up again. That's a goodie. It's going up in my groin, a little bit down the leg. Okay, let's lift up and just move up nice and high. So we're getting right up towards the top. Oh, that's a nice one. For me, that one's going right down towards my knee, even continuing on down towards my heel a little bit. Try and relax over it. Get those little movements so you can find a little different angle that makes a difference for you. Let's lift it. Last one, so getting up nice and high. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Get that pressure right down, really get your body weight down. Okay, so we're going to come up. I'd like you to do it standing up and just have that slump again. Okay, so coming down, seeing what you feel. I feel much more even now. I've worked through both sides. Okay, so next we're going to work. You might need to move somewhere, but I'm going to sit on the edge of my couch. You need to be able to have your foot dangling off. Okay, so I'll go into that position. Probably means my head's going to shoot up out of frame though. So I want something strong enough to support my weight. Alright. And I'm going to have the point underneath that. So I need to be able to push down and then straighten my leg. Okay, so we're doing what's called an active release. I'm just going to move the camera a tiny bit. Okay, so before we were having that little bit of a wiggle, now what we're going to do is have a sustained pressure and then move up, so it's like a shearing technique through the muscle. Right. So I'm still going to work towards that, along that sort of inside line. Right, so I've got to find my spot. Now the muscle's really relaxed here because we've got a bent knee. Okay, and we can get some pressure. You can use elbow, you can use forearm, whatever it is for you. And then once you've got that good spot, oh mama. Alright, up and down with the leg. You know, pulling those toes towards you, trying to push them away. Oh. Now, we do want to try and keep a reasonable posture, so we don't want to be doing it in a big slumped like that. Let's try and keep a reasonable posture. Oh. I'm going to do about maybe 5 or 6 raises. But if you find a spot that you feel needs more, you just keep going and going and going. As many as you need to get that release. And even give it a bit of a wiggle on there. Oh. Alright, now I'm going to move a little bit. So with this one, because we're working more on a relaxed muscle, you can work inside, outside, wherever that line is. It's going to move a little bit. It might be slightly different to the one before that was mainly towards the inside. So just figuring out what works for you. Alright, so just move the point up. Find your spot that you want to work on. There's a good one for me. And I'm lifting, I can sort of feel that muscle pulling over the point. You can feel it moving over, getting that massage. Oh. You can see I don't really feel that I need much pressure down there, just the actual weight of my leg seems to be enough, but if you want some more work on it, get some pressure. Oh. The more the merrier. And work around little variations, move across a couple of centimetres towards the inside or outside of your leg. And if you find a real ripper that starts shooting around, you need to hang out on that for a while. Give it a little of a wiggle. Oh, and a flex up. Alright, let's move it up a bit higher. Sort of right up into the belly of the hamstring now. Let's keep working through that, please. We're just going to move one of the cameras a little bit. Get that flex right up high. Oh. Now rocking motion, forward and back, side, side, and then up again. Trying to hit all different parts of the muscle, inside, outside. Oh, wow, that's really going down my whole leg. And then we can move up a little bit higher. Finding a good spot for you, a little bit of rocking forward and back, and then flexing up and down. If you want more pressure, hand on top of the thigh. Just try rolling your legs side to side, get some different angles. Oh. Oh. Alright, let's move a little bit higher. A little bit of movement and back to start with, forward and back. Help find your spot. So we're going to change legs now. We can keep going right up, alright? So don't just stop because of that, but you can keep going. I just want to make sure we get through both legs in our time. Okay, so I'm going to move to my left. Alright. And then finding that spot for you. On the lower part, it's generally towards the inside line of your body. And get those movements forward and back. Pressuring down on your thigh. Increase the, oh, wow. Once you find a good spot, do some work on it, spend some time, do some wiggles, sideways, forward and back, whatever works for you. And then we can move it up a little bit. Oh. Lift it up, move it up. Make sure you spend a little bit, each time you move it, spend a little bit of time figuring out where the tightest spot is for you. Right, the belly of the hammy where we are now, it's pretty broad, so you do need to do a bit of a search. There's mine. A little bit more towards the middle this one. Oh. again. Oh, that's a good spot. Okay, so we're going to come off that. Let's just have a stand, a bit of a kick in the legs, and give us a slump down, touch the toe. Alright, so hopefully you got some really good spots for your hamstring. As you can see, it can take quite a while, so we spent 45 minutes, we went all the way up both sides, and probably just have to rush a little bit on that second round. So take your time and do things well, invest time in your body to decrease your pain. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Happy pointing, stay well.